You can see Mount Davidson straight ahead. It's covered in snow. There's a storm, a winter storm coming through. We're heading to Virginia City because I wanted to hike in the Ophir mining district near Ophir Canyon to a place called Ophir Hill. The Ophir mines were some of the first discovered, where silver was discovered, and you know what? That's what led to the growth of Virginia City. And that mine had miles of tunnels. Right now we're just driving through the Silver City Gold Hill area. These are quaint little milling and mining towns, mainly milling, while Virginia City focused on its Comstock mining. I wanted to hike, it's the holidays, it's almost near Christmas. I wanted to hike to Ophir Hill, which is just sits a few hundred feet below Mount Davidson. It's the second best view in the Virginia range, and it's easily accessible, but you still gotta hike to it. The problem we're encountering, we're coming up on Devil's Gate. See all the snow? It's not the snow, it's nothing at all. There's some cabins down there, you see a lot of history. But the problem is, we're not gonna have a view. It's so foggy and cloudy, I cannot even see the Sierra Range. When you stand on Ophir Hill, you can see the entire Sierra Range. There's an area we investigated to mine back there. And this is Devil's Gate. This used to be the old toll road, or where they had the tolls set up back in the 1800s. And a lot of people were robbed. Stagecoaches would come through Devil's Gate, and the men would hide behind the rocks and jump out and be like, surprise, surprise, and give me your gold watches or you're not getting into Virginia City. They had a cannon that used to sit up near here as well. Actually, it's in Virginia City. It's right above the old train yard, or tunnel number 4. You can see all the mining that's been done. The mountain's gone, man. Back a few years ago, this mountain was here. And then I heard from a couple miners in Virginia City that they were talking about these pit mines here that they opened recently. These are old claims, and they're just revitalized, that's all. The problem is the revitalization, they're just tearing up the whole mountain, as you can see. I love this place, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to investigate the Mark Twain Museum today. It's very small, but it's significant. It's where Mark Twain wrote the Territorial Enterprise, and his desk that he worked at for a couple years before he even developed the pen name Mark Twain resides in the basement of this location we're going to. So it should be rather interesting for EVPs and such. Little history. Being that Mark Twain also spent a lot of his time in Buffalo, New York. Obviously, I've been kind of chasing his trail from Buffalo to this area up in California, and now finally to Virginia City and some of these ghost towns around here he spent some time at. You can see there are mines. I've been inside that mine. I didn't go very far, maybe 100 feet. It's you have to watch it, but you climb. There's a small hole. There it is. There's a small, not a small hole, but there's an entrance. And you go in the entrance and you climb over a pile. There's about 1.5 feet or 2 feet between the ceiling. And once you go over the pile of like debris probably left from the ore carts, it opens up into a massive tunnel system. And I haven't explored it yet. I wanted to get a couple guys to go in there and maybe explore the mine. The oxygen is not great. There's only one entrance in that place, and it doesn't have a lot of, I mean, there is oxygen in there, don't get me wrong, but it's not as fluent or as prevalent compared to some mines that had ventilation shafts that ascend from the ceiling, which I did not see any. It's just one dark tunnel. See Mount Davidson straight ahead? Its tallest mountain is over 7,500 feet in the Virginia range. Has one of the best views of Virginia City, and you can see 100 miles worth of mountains, 360 degrees from the Sierras to the Stillwater Range to the Carson Sink. I mean, we could easily make it up to Ophir Hill today. The question is, are we going to get a view? The only good thing about going to Ophir Hill today is I can get a nice picture of Virginia City below. And I can come back, because in the spring I'm coming to Mount Davidson, and then when I take my Jeep down from Mount Davidson, you can go a few hundred feet down to Ophir Hill, which is just next, it's adjacent to it. And this is a haunted place. We've investigated the mine and the mill. See the Gold Hill? It's one of the most haunted places in Story County. And there is, like I say, a mine and mill back here, and they are haunted. We did get some evidence of paranormal activity. I got to do the hotel. Eventually, my plan is to do this entire area. Sorry about that, folks. My ISO went way the hell up. There's the train tracks. The train actually still comes through here. You can take the Virginia Truckee Railroad and have a tour of which passes about 100 milling sites. Oh yeah, there was over 100 mills in that stretch from Virginia City to Dayton. We're almost in Virginia City. Sun's just coming up. I love going to Virginia City at sunset. Or sunrise, excuse me. Whoa, I see all the Sierras now. I can't really get it over the wall, but I tried to hold it out. Hopefully, if we can get to the mountain quick enough, there's Mount Davidson. If we can get to Ophir Hill quick enough, we might be able to see the Sierras before the storm intensifies. I just want some shots of the Sierras covered in snow. Kind of put the area of Virginia City, how close is the Sierras, into perspective. I think that's the fire department. Could have been a cop. I don't want to film when there's a cop coming by. You know, it's a handheld device. However, there's nobody out. The sun's just coming up. It's just me. And to be honest with you, this is not like I'm driving along cliffs. This is new. Oh yeah. The town's dead in the morning and the evening. There's really nobody out. But I kind of take you guys I always videotape a journey through here to show you. It looks like they got lots of snow right here in Virginia City. The mountains only have a dusting. But the lower elevation where it kind of flattens out, oh yeah. And see, this is the type of view you're going to have if I can get up to Ophir Hill. You're going to see these beautiful mountains to the south. This is fresh. Some of it's fresh on the road and on the sidewalks. But you can see, look at that beautiful view. So there are beautiful views, but the storm's coming in. But if we can make it, take an hour to make it, we might get some sort of view. We'll see. There's wreaths. Like I said, it is the holidays. And then we're almost to downtown, at least where the businesses are. This is more residential on the outskirts of Virginia City. It is a tiered town. Multiple levels all the way down to almost Sugarloaf, which is... I've climbed Sugarloaf. There's Sugarloaf. Dormant, extinct volcanic vent. But it's tiered. And homes, historic homes, are built all the way up the hill. At least 3-4 streets. Very tiered. But we're downtown. You can see it's all covered in snow. It's very pretty. We're going to do some Christmas shopping, have some lunch. Might even go to the Mustang Ranch again, because I'm telling you, for $20-something, you can eat pretty good, dine in a very nice restaurant. You can't go wrong with that. The food quality is good. And by the way, most of these places I'm filming, I've investigated. You could see in the distance earlier, a couple minutes ago, I was filming St. Mary's Church. It's a very haunted place. I'm going to go up over here. There's my hiking trail right up there. You can see it. It's the Wild West. This is what snow in the Wild West looks like. It's a fucking alley. It's just... Huh? I got it, dude. Sunrise looking pretty. I live for this. Nice brisk morning. Oh, it feels so good. Lets me know I'm alive. Throwing some ghost today. Some brews. Toke one up. Get some nice soak in the views. You can't beat that. Town's dead. It's literally a ghost town. But you can see houses just continue to be found up the entire hill. There it is. We'll have to park up here. Good thing we don't live here. Because this is just ridiculous. If this was icy, you just fall backwards and slip. And then it would turn sideways.
Stop.
It'd turn sideways, and then what would happen is I'd have to get it out of a snowbank. I brought my shovel. I'm prepared for all weather. Excuse me. This is the real deal right here. Gonna hike up in Spanish Canyon coming up. Or Spaniard Canyon. Which is right back here where we'll park. Spaniard Canyon. It's not too bad. It's not icy. There are some ice patches, but it's not as bad as you would think. So this is where we'll park. Let's see if we can... Yeah, we'll park right here. That way people can turn around if anybody comes up here. Resistor went out, so we got no heat. Therefore, the windows get fogged up. They said you can park and walk. Hike to Ophir Hill. This must be the parking area. Alright, folks. I'm out of here. I'll be back with more footage. Peace. The sunset's coming up. That's gorgeous. Sunrise is coming up. It's 7:06. We got about 15 minutes till it comes up. By then we should be hiking. And that's looking down into the Dayton Valley. Sunrise over Dayton. Look at that, folks. A sunrise over Virginia City right now. You can't really see downtown because there's trees. But you will. You will eventually. When I get higher up on the hill, I'll turn around and film into the Virginia City. I'll film down into the city itself, rather. By then the sun won't be gleaming or glaring straight at us. Beautiful sight, but this is looking eastward. Dayton's below. It's a milling town. Used to process a lot of the gold and silver in the Comstock. Then they'd ship it out on the trains, which the train did at one time go through Dayton, the Virginia Truckee Railroad, and also out to Carson City, and eventually the branch intersected with the Transcontinental. You could take that spur. There's a lot of spurs. There was at least 100 different spurs in the area, all stretching down from Bodie to Northern California into Oregon. It's little lines, so that way you had a network and way to travel between these boom towns. So we're about to head out. Tammy's got her backpack. I got my Santa beard. You got to have that. And we're gonna go up into this canyon. I've been up in here before, and it winds through and goes over Hill. And you can see kind of the summit right there, a little bit of Mount Davidson. See the antennas? Some blue skies peering through right now. That's good. But it's brisk. With the wind chill, it feels like 20 below zero. Let's put it that way right now. It's cutting through you. All right, I'm out of here. I gotta focus and get my bag on the road less traveled into the Ophir Hills. It's icy. Stay in the middle. It's not icy in the middle. It's not just a job, it's an adventure. You know, folks, I was hiking up in these mountains about 2 years ago with my son, and we weren't on any roads or trails. Actually, we were hiking up in those mountains. It's high desert, but there are some areas where there are some woods or patches of brush and trees and forest. Long story short, I found a set of tracks of something very big. And there was about 5 tracks, maybe 3, and they vanished on the side of the mountain. No trails. We were in over a foot of snow. We were trying to cut across to this mine. We ended up, actually, we were way off. We did get near it at night, and I came back like a week later and realized it's right by the road. I could have parked instead of hiked through those mountains. It was good hiking. We found some historical sites, but that's the second time in Virginia City I found what looks like a giant miner's boot. Well, the first time was a giant miner's boot, and the tracks just vanished down near the Union Mine and the cemetery just outside of it near some mines and mills. The New York Mill, the Union Mill's down in there. However, my second time I hike up in the mountains, I find these giant tracks. They're like 16, 18 inches, and they're not snowshoes. And what's funny is you see 3, 4 tracks on the steep side of a mountain through some forest on that mountain, some trees. Actually, it was through some trees. There was 5, 6 trees, and it went between the trees, made 3 or 4 tracks and vanished. And they were like 18-inch tracks. It looked like a barefoot had walked through there, and I'm like, maybe it is Bigfoot. These creatures are said not to be of this earth. Some people theorize that they are alien visitors surveying the planet, and just a primate-like species, but intelligent and maybe from another world. Is it possible? I mean, they're built to withstand the cold. They can run barefoot. They don't need shoes, run barefoot through the snow. They got hard hide on their bottoms of their feet. It's a hard hide. It's like snow resistant. We seen a deer back here. It was injured. But my theory, as I was saying, well, I mean, besides the deer, it wasn't injured from Bigfoot. Spaniard, there's a mine right there. Whoa, what the hell is that running? Chickens? Are those chickens? Quail. Just kidding, folks. All birds are chickens to me. If you cook them up on the grill or whatever, you got chicken. As you can see, folks, snow's not bad, but the road's a little icy. This is Spaniard Canyon. When you come out of the canyon, then you hit the hill, Ophir Hill. It's not that far. It really isn't, but we're going to have to tread through this shit. And it is what it is. You can't escape winter. If you live in the mountains, this is what it comes with. So you have to enjoy all parts of the year. Winter, you sled, you snowboard, you do some, like the quail, the picture I just caught with the quail in the snow. You can get some nice winter nature photography. And then come spring, you can enjoy the blooming flowers. This was a mining operation. I've been in that mine a little bit. But on my way back, I'll take another picture of it. And there's Virginia City below. You can see St. Mary's Church, which we investigated. It's haunted. And then there's St. Mary's Hospital, which is now the Art Center. That's haunted. All these places we've investigated and got good paranormal evidence at, including a ghost picture I got at the John Mackey Mansion. So I'm pretty happy with our progress in Virginia City. We've done at least 15 to 20 places. We almost got the whole town done, minus private cases and clients, like houses that are owned by people. And almost every place we found paranormal evidence. I don't expect to find evidence up here, but in these hills, something giant roams, and I have evidence of it, and I can't explain why something would take 3-4 steps on the steep side of a snowy mountain 2 years ago and vanish in the thin air. There's no scientific explanation. The Sierras are a hop, skip, and a jump, and a lot of mountains with caves and an underground network of tunnels. So whatever made that could have came out from a cave, could have came from outer space, could have maybe wandered for food from the Sierras. But we'll keep trucking on. It's cold, it's brisk, it's almost Christmas of 2015. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. Hiking in Spanish Canyon in the Ophir Hills. And the Ophir mine is right below this area. You can kind of see the debris pile. The stockings were hung on the chimney with care, hoping soon that Lord Rick would be there. I used to have a bunch of Christmas poems, ladies and gentlemen, I wrote. I rewrote all the Christmas carols, and all the Christmas stories were rewrote. They're made to include my friends and my names in them. Yeah, pretty raunchy stuff, actually. So we won't go there about how, you know, Lord Rick was there. Because what would Lord Rick be doing going down the chimney and wandering somebody's house? See, I already got a PS4 and an Xbox One, so what do I need? Nah, but seriously, I mean, it is good to have fun when it's the holidays. Drink lots of beer, smoke lots. You got to do a little of everything. Do some paranormal investigating. Check out some scenic sites, because the winter time, if you don't hike in the winter, you will never get views like this with snow-capped mountains. There's the only time of year you can enjoy it, because come spring, this is all going to melt. Come March, there'll be no snow, it'll be raining. And you know what? You won't get pictures of snow-capped peaks. But right now, the Sierras are under snow. That's a scenic picture worth $1,000. It is. But I'm not selling it, I'm just sharing it with my friends. Could sell it for far beyond photography if someone wants a print, but other than that, I just want to soak in these beautiful views. Yes, it does snow up here. Virginia City may be high desert, but they get all 4 seasons. Winter, fall, winter, spring, summer. Leaves change in the fall. In the winter it snows, the spring the flowers bloom and everything's green on the hillsides, and the summer here is brutal. And you don't come up here in late spring or the summer. A lot of rattlesnakes, you get bit. I'm not saying you're going to die, but it's going to be painful and it's going to suck. I'm a pretty smart guy, and I would rather hike in the snow than hike with the snakes, but that's just me. So I got friends that like to hike with the snakes. I'm like, you really shouldn't. If you're 80 miles from a hospital and that snake bites you above the waist, it's going to reach your heart within 45 minutes and you are going to die. So yes, this is dangerous what we do. So we try to minimize the danger by going certain seasons of the year. I will only hike this range in the winter. Certain ghost towns I will only go to in the winter, because there's a snake every 25 feet. And they might be coiled up and not messing with you, but you may walk past something and it might strike 6 feet out, lunge at you and bite your leg. It just snowed here tonight. And we seen it snowing on the opposite side of these hills. We seen a bunch of snow coming down. It was, you could see it on the peak. It was all misty and foggy looking. And you could see the fresh powder up on the other side of Mount Davidson. So, and we may be hitting, when we get to the top and through Spaniard Canyon, we're probably going to end up hitting some snowfall, some snowflakes. And then today we'll go to dinner. We'll go Christmas shopping. You got to go Christmas shopping in Virginia City, tradition. And maybe have lunch again at the Mustang, or somewhere else we can have lunch if we decide on find a restaurant that piques our interest. But, you know, we'll do the Mark Twain Museum later. I like to mix it up. I don't just do all historic sites. I don't just do all cemeteries. I'll do cemeteries, historic sites. I'll do tunnels, mines, ghost towns, abandoned buildings, houses, scenic places, mountains. You can see there's a wood board up there. There is actually some mines along this road. The Ophir mining district was up in this area. I've also been to Ophir Canyon. It's on the other side of this, and there's a bunch of silver and gold mines up there that we climbed around at. So we'll keep pushing on. This is pretty rugged. it's probably better we just hiked it anyways. Another mile to go. Pushing through in the snow and the ice and the rocks. This is Lord Rick hiking, where many men have died in these mines, and probably their souls wander these old mining roads. No access. Fire break. Nice. At Sugarloaf Hill, or mountain, there's a very old mill. It actually is over 150 years old. It's one of the oldest in the area. But I did some investigating at the mill and got some EVPs, and I also summited the peak, or the mountain. So as you can see, folks, how diverse we are. We could sit here and investigate a mill, be like, let's ghost hunt this. And we could turn around moments later and look for Bigfoot, or, you know, climb one of these mountains and stand on top and drink a beer and be like, yeah, baby. You know, just an example, but this is kind of tedious to hike through. But you know what? I'm not going to be a whiner or a baby about it. Like I say, we live in the mountains. This is what the mountains offer us. I won't hide in my house because of a little snow. I won't do it. I could. I know I have paranormal groups. They always put on their thing, we don't do anything in the winter. Why not? You can do museums, breweries, historic sites, cemeteries. Cemeteries are pretty covered in snow. Why not? And you can do outdoor areas. I only chose to hike here. It's not dangerous here. If we were in the Sierras, they could get 10 feet of snow in a couple hours and we could die up there. So I don't really hike in dangerous areas where they could get 10 feet of snow in like an hour and you could get buried and die or avalanched on. But this is good hiking up in Nevada. In the winter in Nevada, you do your hiking here. Less snow. You don't have to worry about these avalanche risk. It's just a lot safer. Because you'll have 2 inches here and 5 feet at Tahoe. So which one do you want to hike at? So you still get to enjoy the snow, but you at least get to do it at a minimal risk level. And so these purpose of these videos kind of teach people some safety about the outdoors, but also history, and give them a little adventure too in the process. I got friends who can't even walk. They love to see my adventure. Some of these people live here in Carson City and Tahoe, and they can no longer hike. But they've been to these places, and it brings back memories of when they went here. So our cause is good. Everything we do is noble. I'll keep pushing on. I'll take some video as we go higher and higher, and some photography. Whoa. It's your founder, Lord Rick of the Paranormal Ghost Society. Virginia City's looking quite small. Ladies and gentlemen, a storm is coming in Spanish Canyon. The hills, you see, Ophir Hill, right beyond the trees. All right, I'm going to try to get up ahead of you. You have a radio in your bag, so do I. Channel 7. I'm going to where the ridge line is, the trees. You can still see me. If it gets too stormy, I'm turning back. Because I can't get a picture if there's no visibility, you know? Alright. We're going to have to come back at a later date, folks. Probably in the spring. I've tried to attempt this. First time I came, it got dark. Had to taper it off. This time I come up here, we're in the middle of a snowstorm. It was calm, but it's been coming over the Sierras. We've seen it this morning, and I looked at it, I'm like, oh man, we're never going to make it. Sure enough, I watched the sunrise, and I'm not going to make it. Storm, I cannot beat a storm on foot. I can't do it.
Yeah, this is not good. I can't even see Virginia City. Wow, Mustang crap. Whew. I didn't know I'd be hiking in the middle of a storm. So, this is our first expedition of Ophir Hill. We'll do Mount Davidson and Ophir Hill together in the spring. I may put them on the website as one, since Ophir Hill's here, Mount Davidson's here. Twin Peaks. Not really, but they are peaks that are prominent in the Virginia City area. I have to switch back it, or I'm not going to make it up. With the snow and the ice and my asthma bearing down on me, not good. Fresh powder. Oh man, this is bad. We're gonna have to come back next month or in the spring. Winter's hitting hard right now here. Whew. Man, looking for some mines to go in also, but I could get snowed in the mines, so it might not be a good idea. Whew, snowing. Very dangerous to be hiking in the snow in Nevada and California during a winter storm warning. Very dangerous. Always be prepared. Be ready for anything. If you know the wilderness well and you know how to keep warm and dry, you can live. But a lot of people don't. Therefore, it's dangerous. I found a road, an old mining road up here. Holy shit. It's bad. Zero visibility. Yeah. Man. Wow. Big debris pile. Wonder if there's a mine up there. Well, there is. But I'm saying, wonder if there's a mine I could go in. Look at Tammy. Wow. I am so high above her. It's getting bad. I'm almost at the top of Ophir Hill. There's cable. Used to be a mine right here. High up in the canyon. Well, the Hispanics, the Mexicans came here to mine early on. I could imagine that if this canyon was named after them, or the early explorers that came through here, the Spaniards. It's old. I'm gonna only have enough time in this weather to stand on top of this pile, maybe look for the mine, and then I gotta head back. It's getting really bad. up here. I'm short of breath. Thing is, I have asthma, so it doesn't go well with extremely frigid temperatures. It's a chance I take. I'm all about the glory of the adventure, completing what I started. That's what I'm about. This is a nice debris pile. I don't know the name of any of these mines. However, there are a few mines and mills in the Ophir Canyon. Early mines, some of the first that were claimed in Virginia City, the hills above Virginia City. Wow. Whew. I'm done. I'm breaking here. My legs are jello. Mount Davidson, Virginia City. You can't really see it. Oh man, but it's there. Almost made it to Ophir Hill. Mother Nature is kicking our asses today. Whew. Oh yeah. This is your founder, Lord Rick. This is your founder, Lord Rick, in the Ophir Hills. Just taking a break on a snowy, steep canyon cliffside. There's a cliff right here, but I'm right on the edge of the cliff, just relaxing. You can see Virginia City a little through the fog. Excuse me. Asthma in between being sick and bronchitis going around. No, thank you. I tried, guys. I'm going to tell you about this place, folks. Give you the down low about the area at least. Even if I can't make it to the hill, I almost made it up. This is not the tall, as I was telling you earlier, Ophir Hill is not the tallest peak. Tallest one is 7,864 feet, which is Mount Davidson, and is under cloud cover. I was wrong, I said 7,500. That's 7,864 feet. It's what overshadows Virginia City below and has the giant V. From the top, though, as I was saying, you can view the Carson Sink, the Stillwater Mountains, at least 100 miles of the Sierra Nevada mountain range, Washoe Valley, Washoe Lake, which is dry, by the way, Tool Peak. A lot of other peaks like mountain ranges like the Flowery Mountain Range, the Great Basin, the Pine Nut Mountains, Mount Grant. But we're up in the Spanish Ravine. It was a very, well-used mining district back in the 1800s. Also, on a clear day, you could see Mount Rose, Slide Mountain, Heavenly, Highland Peak, Tower Peak to the north. And of course, I do believe that these mining roads are haunted by miners who perished. 4 miners were laying charges in the Ophir mine, which is below, and then they named this canyon and this mining district after it. But however, men had died in these mines, terrible deaths, falling to their death, getting scolded by hitting hot steam underground. And of course, the miners that died up in the Ophir mine, they set the charges, the cage wouldn't go up. 3 of the miners escaped injury. 1 of them had died in the explosion due to rock slides, and people fell, sometimes 1,000, 2,000 feet. They couldn't even get the bodies at times. And then, of course, one of the miners who was in that accident, he died 4 months later. There's just a lot of stories here. Mark Twain used to look up at these mountains. I want to do Mount Davidson because it goes hand in hand with the Mark Twain newspaper office we're going to do, which was the old Territorial Enterprise. Today it's a store and a museum. Mark Twain noted that Mount Davidson, in his book Roughing It, he mentioned seeing a flagpole on the summit, which a flag is flown every 4th of July. And of course, Mark Twain claimed to have summited Mount Davidson, so you could see it's very important to kind of climb that peak eventually. Back then, though, they didn't call it Mount Davidson, they called it Sun Peak, prior to Mark Twain living here. So yeah, definitely, we definitely want to summit this Mount Davidson and Ophir Hill. Ophir Hill's on the opposite side of Spanish Canyon. I got to get going, it's getting really bad. I just decided to take a break up here. I want to say peace, we're going to head out of here. This weather's not looking up. Almost zero visibility. There's a lot of snow. It's not going to be easy to film and climb, so I'm going to put the camera away so I don't fall to my death. But I'm out of here. Santa Claus in the house. Not Claus, Claus. It's the best I can do. I can't get any pictures of Virginia City from up here. Visibility's poor. So it is what it is. We'll come back when it clears up and we'll finish our expedition. This is your founder, Lord Rick. Peace out. The plane's pretty low and I can hear it and I can't even see it. Pretty scary stuff. They take off from the Reno International Airport, and then what they do is they fly right over this range really low, and you can hear them when you're hiking up here. You can actually get closer to the airliners and see them close up. It's pretty cool stuff. It is what it is. You know, you can't, like I said, you can't change Mother Nature, but you can clearly see we tried to go as far as we could on the expedition. I mean, there are ghosts that haunt these roads. It's important to investigate the roads as well and try to find mines and mill sites like I just did here. It's a debris pile from a mine. A lot of the mine's been closed up, but the dump piles are still there. And these areas could have activity or hauntings, you never know. Wow. Besides, it's a beautiful scenic hike. Can't beat that. On a clear day, it's better, of course. Another mining debris pile. The storm's still moving on in. We're going to be shopping downtown Virginia City, and it's going to be snowing like a mad dog down there. It's a quaint, cozy little town. I always like coming up here. I don't live here, but I don't live far from here either. And I'll tell you what, they get some really terrible weather. During a bad winter, you're talking a lot of snow. These roads you can't hike or traverse. It's like the Arctic. Right now, it's just mild snow, but the storm's still coming in. And you know, you give it a few more hours, and it's probably going to have a few inches downtown. Well, it's quaint, like I said, all the little shops with the Christmas trees. It'll be enjoyable to shop while it's snowing. You know, it'll be snowing, and we'll be sitting there shopping. And, well, I guess we're going to end up doing some indoor investigating today. We'll probably do the Mark Twain Museum and maybe the Mint, the Marshall Mint, which was used as an assay office for many of the local mines. They could get, well, the Mint could technically assess the value or the grade of the gold and silver, and then what would happen is they'd be stored there, kind of like a bank, and some of it would be minted into coins. Some of those coins found in Carson City is a coin $250,000. That mint did a lot of rare coinage back in the day, so you have to understand that the mint is a relevant site if we decide to do it today. We'll have to see what happens. It's really bad at higher elevations. I'm coming down to the bottom of Spanish Canyon. Like I said, we can come back. We're going to do Mount Davidson. We're going to do Ophir Hill on a much more, I don't mind if it's cloudy. The storm is making no visibility. It is clearing up a little over in Virginia City now. Of course, go figure, I get all the way down and now it clears up. It was so much fog and snow falling that you couldn't even see the town. And now I can start to see it coming out of the fog. But up there, there's some blue. The clouds are thin, but up there, it's really bad. Really bad. It's snowing and coming down and blowing. And you can't even, once you look over the hill, you can't see no mountains. Even though there's about 1,000 peaks that lay before us, you cannot see one single peak up there. So we're at the bottom of Spanish Canyon. This is Lord Rick. Bad Santa to you, or Santa Claus. And we've made it back to some salvation. I'm alive. I'm alive. Ladies and gentlemen, one more thing I want to add, because it's in my memory fresh. The Chinese worked Spanish Canyon a lot as well. The Chinese miners, these canyons behind Virginia City, the Chinese built deep mines, almost 2,000 feet deep. And here's the deal. They would build the mine 2,000 feet below Mount Davidson, or down into underground, and then they'd have a tunnel that connected to Chinatown, or a couple tunnels, because the Chinese were not really allowed to see going through the segregated parts. Basically, the white European middle class that lived here, and upper class, who were business owners and owned the saloons and the bordellos and the madams who owned these, or ran these prostitution, or these brothels, I should say, or places of prostitution. Back then it was legal. It still is legal as long as it's designated and is in accordance with Nevada state law. But my point is that the Chinese were heavily discriminated upon. They were murdered, they were victimized. So what they would do is build their mines in this canyon. You could see the debris piles. And they would have a shaft, because I found elevator cable, and the shaft would go down 1,600 feet. They would take a tunnel to Chinatown. That way they didn't have to walk downtown or be seen by anybody, or deal with possibly being murdered by some rowdy men who are drinking at the saloon, who are very prejudiced towards the Chinese. You can see it's snowing like hell. I can't even see Virginia City. I want another picture. And it cleared up for a few seconds. I was going to take it over here, and guess what? No go. I can't even see the city. You see me smoking my pipe in the snow. That's about it. All right, folks. Thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for your support. We've had 100 new members join our Google Plus community. We are surpassing 4,000 members in our newest community that we've developed a year ago. It's one of the biggest successes on Google. A lot of followers, support, people posting, people following our work, our videos. We thank you for that. I guess we'll be down in Virginia City doing some haunts today instead of some outdoor adventuring. With this storm coming, it's going to be wise to stay indoors and drink, smoke, and check them spooks out. And that's the road to Ophir Hill. We're still in Spanish Canyon. Yeah, ladies, we got to abort, but that's okay. We'll just add on a second expedition. We're going to do Mount Davidson. I'll drive on the backside through Gold Hill. We'll do Ophir Hill. And it'll be two scenic places we can put above Virginia City on the site. Believe it or not, folks, well, as I was saying earlier, Mark Twain hiked to the top of Mount Davidson. Back then it was Sun Mountain, but Mark Twain hiked to it. So do you think I have to do this? Yeah, I have to do it. We want to kind of follow in his footsteps since we're doing history in Virginia City. It is a historical climb he's done. Well, in his lifetime. You know, other people have done the hike too, but Mark Twain worked for the Territorial Enterprise. We're going to go there today, and he was up by Ophir Hill. So, yeah, these are important locations for us to do. There's a historical significance that goes with the nature here. This is bad. This is so slippery. But you can see, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we go through to get UFOs and Bigfoot and ghosts and historic sites and mines. We do this. We're doing it. So you got to give us some credit. We're not like the rest of the groups in Virginia City are like, yep, we're done for the winter. Screw that. Why can't you explore all year round? What's wrong with exploring all year round? You know, there's no time off when you're looking for UFOs or ghosts or preserving historic sites. It's an all-year thing. It's all-year progress and work. You work for it. This month's been a little slow. We went up to a ghost town of Mason and the Bluestone Mill And then we tried to get up to Rockland. We only were able to make it to Lower Rockland. Upper Rockland's the main town site. And now we tried Ophir Hill. That was a dive bomb. Could still add it to our site. We just don't have a lot of content or videos or pictures right now. And then we're going to do the Mark Twain Museum. I was going to do the Marshall Mint, but I just remembered, Tammy reminded me, you can't take photos or EVPs. I could ask, but they really don't like it. So I mean, they're worried about people robbing them or who knows what it is. But you should be allowed, but you're not allowed. So we'll keep heading off. My asthma's acting up, but I'll make it. I'll make it. I grew up with a very abusive stepfather who used to lock me in the cars with cigarette smoke for hours. And so I've developed asthma as a teenager. And we worked past it. You know, I'm still a very strong hiker. But if you hear me breathing in my videos, that's why. It's my asthma. So please do forgive. Just a little personal thing that people should probably know about me, so that they don't sit there and harp on me or make fun of me. They realize that I'm not out of shape. I have some medical ailments I'm trying to work past. Virginia City, heading into the storm. Some mines, folks. There's a few in this canyon. Most of them are closed except this one you can kind of access. This here is one of the only mines that's accessible. And I thought about, you know, maybe someday exploring it. I'm very open to going in and looking out, or looking at it inside, but it says something on top too. This fence was constructed for your protection by the Nevada Division of Minerals. If you discover the fence vandalized or need a repair, contacts, yada, yada, yada. This is the mine. And of course it's hard, you got to squeeze in there. I don't want to rip anything right now. But I'm thinking, you know, I come back up here or something, unless I come up the back way, I'm thinking about doing the mine. Because it does go far back. It's not a very big mine, it probably goes 50 feet back. But still, good place for EVPs. Alright, let me take some pics. I'm out of here. Danger, unsafe mine, stay out, stay alive. That includes you, Lord Rick. Of course, I'll live to tell. I will live to tell. See, folks, the debris pile, the mine's right here. I'd say it's about 100 feet back. So it's definitely not even worth going into. I need a mine. I have a mine we're doing near Austin and Kingston. 50 miles of tunnels. And a lot of people do that mine, but you got to mark your territory or you could get lost. A lot of good things are coming. I'm bringing you guys to the far reaches of the earth. You guys are in for a treat and a journey. But I'm out of here. It's getting really bad. Yeah. Look at all this ice. Hell, I may not even be able to drive down the hill without sliding. God almighty, it's icy as hell. All right, folks. There's the Jeep. Right above Virginia City. Have a nice little outhouse. You can see the peak of Mount Davidson. And then look, some snow clouds mixed in with blue skies. It's like Murphy's Law. You know, we just got down to the bottom of the canyon because it was storming, no visibility. And we get here and it's like, patch of blue skies, but you can see more storms coming. Just because there's a patch don't mean it's going to last more than a few minutes. Oh. Really? Wow! Caught me off guard. I just got flashed by my girlfriend. That's the road we were on. I was climbing up along that for a little while. Look how steep that is. Look how steep the road is. Can you see it? That's where we were at, right at the bottom of that. I went at the intersection of that road. That's steep. That's like straight up. But I could see Ophir Hill. I could see the antennas. Look, ladies and gentlemen, that is Ophir Hill. And I was on top of the ridge and then I couldn't see the antennas anymore. Pretty cool. We almost made it there, even in a winter storm. So I get myself situated in my Jeep. 5 minutes later, I come back out, the blue patches are gone, and look. It's storming. It's snowing where we just hiked from. We were near the top of that road heading to Ophir Hill. And look, it's under snow. Glad we got out of there. We'll work with Virginia City. There's always something to do. But yeah, this is old man winters here.